My ex kept saying that I got her pregnant, but the medical report said otherwise. In reality, it was her new boyfriend who got her pregnant and then left her. Now she's trying to claim that I'm the father of the child. She told everyone I was the father, before the test even came back. I whispered that to myself while sitting in my car outside the clinic, gripping the steering wheel so tightly that my knuckles turned white. The envelope lay on the passenger seat, sealed, heavy with truth I wasn't ready to face. My phone buzzed. Claire. Again. Ethan, please, her voice came through, soft, trembling, manipulative. Don't open it yet. We can talk about this first. Talk? I laughed bitterly. You told my mom I'm the father, Claire. What's left to talk about? It's complicated, she said quickly, like she'd rehearsed it. You don't understand. No, I think I understand perfectly, I cut her off. You disappear for 2 weeks, come back saying you're pregnant, and suddenly I'm the villain for asking questions? She sighed, that dramatic kind she always used when she wanted sympathy. Ethan, you're overreacting. We've been together for 3 years. Of course it's yours. Right, I said, staring at the clinic door. Because trust works both ways, except when it doesn't. She fell silent for a second, then said quietly, I just need you to believe me. I wanted to hang up, but instead I closed my eyes and drifted backward, to when I actually believed her. We met 3 summers ago at a friend's barbecue. She was wearing a yellow sundress, laughing at something stupid I'd said. That laugh, it hooked me immediately. You always this awkward, she'd teased. Only around women who make breathing optional, I'd replied. She laughed again, nudging my shoulder. Smooth talker. You probably say that to everyone. Only the important ones. That's how it started, light, flirty, harmless. I didn't know then that love could start like sunshine and end like a storm. Within weeks, we were inseparable. Midnight drives, cheap pizza, long talks about dreams. She said she wanted a home full of plants, a big kitchen, maybe a golden retriever. You'll do the dishes though, she'd joke. Deal, I'd said. As long as you cook. Then we're perfect, she'd smile, that kind of smile that made me forget the world. For a while, it felt real. I'd never loved anyone like that. But looking back now, even those early days had cracks, tiny ones I ignored. I remember one night she was scrolling through her phone, giggling at texts. Who's that? I asked. She shrugged. Just someone from work. Chill, Ethan. Do I know him? God, you're jealous already, she laughed, tossing her phone aside. Relax. You're cute when you're insecure. I forced a laugh. I'm not insecure. Just curious. Don't ruin a good night with suspicion, she said, leaning in to kiss me. Trust me. I did. Foolishly. Completely. Now, sitting outside that clinic, her words echoed like ghosts. Trust me. The phone buzzed again. Please, Ethan, she begged, her voice trembling now. If you love me, just come home. We can start over. Start over? I repeated quietly. With what? Lies? I made mistakes, okay? But you did too, she snapped suddenly. You weren't there for me. You worked all the time, left me lonely. There it was, the blame. The shift. The manipulation I'd grown used to. I worked for us, I said sharply. Rent, groceries, everything, while you said you needed space with your coworker? He was just a friend, she cried. Then why did you delete your messages with him? Silence. I could hear her breathing through the phone, uneven, panicked. Because I knew you'd twist it. You always do. I laughed bitterly. You're unbelievable. You think this is easy for me, she shouted. You think I wanted this? I'm scared, Ethan. I'm pregnant and you're abandoning me. I'm not abandoning anyone, I said quietly. I'm just done being your excuse. I glanced at the clinic doors again. People were coming out, couples, a few single mothers, some holding envelopes like mine. My chest tightened. Part of me wanted to throw it away, pretend everything was fine. Pretend she was still the girl in the yellow dress who made me laugh until my ribs hurt. But she wasn't. Ethan, she whispered again. Please don't do this. I didn't answer. Instead, I rolled the window down slightly, let the cold air hit my face, and whispered, mostly to myself, you already did. The flashback faded as I stared at the envelope again. 3 years of love, promises, and lies folded into one piece of paper. I remembered the night before she left. We'd fought, again. Maybe we just need space, she'd said, grabbing her coat. Space or someone else? I'd asked. She glared. You don't own me. I never tried to, I said. I just wanted honesty. You're impossible, she hissed. I can't breathe around you. Then the door slammed. That was the last night she slept in our apartment. 2 weeks later, she called crying, saying she was pregnant. Now here I was, waiting for proof of what my gut already knew. The phone buzzed once more. I didn't pick up. Instead, I reached for the envelope. My hands shook as I tore it open, the paper slicing slightly against my thumb. I didn't read it yet, I just stared at the black letters swimming on the page. A lump rose in my throat. Somewhere deep down, a voice whispered, whatever it says, you already lost her. I turned the key, started the car, and whispered the same words again, not to her, but to myself. She told everyone I was the father, before the test even came back. And for the first time, I realized, that sentence hurt more than the truth ever could. It started after she lost her job. At first, I thought it was just stress. She'd sleep late, barely talk, and stare at her phone for hours. I tried to be patient. But patience turns into silence when no one meets you halfway. Claire, I said one evening, leaning against the kitchen counter. You've barely said a word to me all week. She didn't look up. What do you want me to say? Anything. Tell me how you feel. What's going on? She sighed loudly. You wouldn't understand. Try me. You're never here, Ethan. You work late every night. I'm here alone, losing my mind, and you don't even notice. I work late to pay the bills, Claire. I thought we agreed I'd handle things until you got back on your feet. Her eyes snapped up. So now I'm a burden. That's not what I said. It's what you meant, she shot back. You make me feel like I'm failing you. I rubbed my face, trying to hold back frustration. I just want us to be okay. Then stop treating me like a problem to fix. That was the first time I noticed it, how she could twist concern into criticism with a few words. A week later, I came home and found her dressed up, perfume heavy in the air. Going somewhere? I asked. She smiled faintly. Out with friends. I need to clear my head. Which friends? She rolled her eyes. You don't know them. Then maybe introduce me sometime. Oh my God, Ethan, she snapped. Do you hear yourself? You sound paranoid. I just asked who you're going with. And I just told you it doesn't matter. Claire, it matters to me. You're my. You're what? Property, she cut in sharply. You don't own me. My jaw clenched. I never said I did. You didn't have to, she muttered, grabbing her purse. You make me feel trapped every time I breathe. The door slammed before I could respond. That night, I sat on the couch for hours, staring at the dark window, wondering how love had turned into walking on eggshells. A few days later, I tried again. Can we talk? I asked when she came home. About what? She said, kicking off her shoes. Us. We fight all the time lately. Because you always start it. I start it? I repeated, confused. You disappear for nights, don't answer my texts, and when I ask if you're okay. You interrogate me, she said sharply. Do you think I enjoy being treated like a criminal? I'm just worried, I said softly. You're shutting me out. She laughed coldly. Maybe I'm tired of proving I'm worth your attention. What does that even mean? It means, she said, voice trembling with anger, you're emotionally absent. You think working extra hours makes you a good boyfriend? Try being present instead. I'm trying to keep us afloat, I said. We have rent, groceries. You always talk about money, she interrupted. You think love is about paying bills? No, I said quietly. I think love is about showing up, and I have, every single day. She crossed her arms. Then why do I feel alone? Her words hit me harder than I expected. I looked at her, the woman I loved, and saw someone who already had one foot out the door. Claire, I said, voice shaking, if you trusted me more, maybe we could fix this. She smirked. If you trusted me more, maybe I'd love you the same. I froze. What does that mean? It means, she said coldly, I'm tired of earning your faith when you've already decided I'll fail you. That's not true. Isn't it? She whispered. The silence that followed was unbearable. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Her words replayed in my head like a song I couldn't stop hearing. Maybe I'd love you the same. It wasn't just blame anymore, it was punishment. She started staying out later after that. I'd hear her phone buzz at midnight, see her smile faintly at the screen, then turn it over when I looked. Once, I asked who it was. She said, just a friend. I didn't believe her, but I didn't fight either. Because somewhere along the way, I'd learned that silence was safer than truth. And maybe that was the moment, not when she lied, not when she left, but right then, when I stopped believing she loved me the way she said she did. Claire, can we just talk about this like adults? I said, standing by the doorway as she threw clothes into her suitcase. There's nothing left to talk about, she snapped, not even looking at me. I need space. Space? We live together, Claire. You don't just pack your life away and call it space. She zipped the suitcase hard enough to make me flinch. You don't get it, Ethan. You never do. You're always working, always tired, always somewhere else. I'm somewhere else because I'm trying to keep us alive, I said. Those late nights, those extra shifts, they're for us. She turned, eyes red, voice trembling. I didn't ask for a martyr. I asked for a partner. The word hit me harder than I expected. A partner doesn't walk out in the middle of a fight. Maybe a partner doesn't make me feel like a stranger in my own home. I stared at her, trying to find the woman I fell in love with somewhere behind that fury. You're twisting this. You say I don't listen, but every time I try, you shut down. She laughed bitterly. Because you only listen when it's convenient for you. I took a step closer. Then tell me now. Tell me what I'm missing. Her silence was heavy. Then she muttered, it's too late. Too late for what? For us, she whispered. The suitcase clicked shut. She grabbed her jacket and keys, brushing past me. Don't follow me. Claire, wait. But the door slammed before I could finish. I stood there for minutes, maybe hours, staring at the empty space she left behind. Her perfume still lingered in the air, mixed with the scent of anger and disbelief. I called her that night. No answer. The next morning. No answer. By day 3, I'd left more voicemails than I could count. Claire, please. Just talk to me. Can we at least meet for coffee? I don't care where you are, I just need to know you're safe. Silence. Each ring felt like a knife twisting deeper. I kept replaying that last argument, searching for what I said wrong, what moment broke us. Maybe it wasn't a moment. Maybe it was a slow burn that finally reached its fuse. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzed late at night. Unknown number. My heart jumped before my brain caught up. Hello? A shaky voice answered, Ethan, it's me. I froze. Claire? She sniffled, like she'd been crying for hours. I didn't know who else to call. Where are you? Are you okay? I'm fine. I need to tell you something. My stomach tightened. What is it? There was a long pause, long enough for me to hear her breathing. I'm pregnant. The world went silent. You're, what? I'm pregnant, Ethan. I swallowed hard. That's impossible. Her voice cracked. Are you calling me a liar? No, but, Claire, we haven't seen each other in weeks. She sobbed louder. So now you're saying it's not yours? That's not what I said. I'm confused. You're confused? Try being me, she snapped. Alone, scared, carrying your child, and you can't even show an ounce of faith. Faith? I said, my voice rising. You walked out on me. You ignored every call. And now you're dropping this on me like it's supposed to fix things? I didn't plan this, she whispered. I didn't ask for this. Then why are you telling me now? Because I thought you deserved to know. I rubbed my forehead, pacing the kitchen. Do you even hear yourself? You leave, disappear for 2 weeks, and now you call saying you're pregnant. Claire, do you realize what that sounds like? She stayed quiet. Tell me the truth, I said, trying to steady my voice. Is it mine? A sharp inhale. I can't believe you'd even ask that. Then give me a reason not to. Her tone turned icy. You're unbelievable. I thought you were different. Different from who? From every man who abandons the woman he supposedly loves. I didn't abandon you, I said, slamming my hand on the counter. You left me. There was a beat of silence, then the call disconnected. I stood there, phone still in my hand, staring at my reflection in the dark window. My own voice echoed in my head, how can you be pregnant when we haven't even seen each other for weeks? The question haunted me long after the line went dead. And somewhere deep down, I already knew the answer, I just wasn't ready to face it. When my mother called, her voice carried that tone, the one that meant something had gone terribly wrong. Ethan, she said softly, is it true? I frowned. Is what true? That Claire's pregnant, and you're the father. The words hit me like a slap. She told you that? She didn't just tell me. Everyone's talking. Your aunt, your co-workers, even the neighbors. I gripped the edge of the counter. Jesus Christ. Ethan, Mom whispered, are you the father? I closed my eyes. I don't know. She hesitated. How can you not know? Because we haven't been together in weeks, I said through clenched teeth. She left, Mom. She walked out. There was silence on the line, then a sigh heavy with disappointment. I wish you two would stop hurting each other. After we hung up, I just stood there, staring at the phone like it had betrayed me. My heart was pounding. Within an hour, I had texts from friends, some curious, some judgmental. Man, heard the news. Congrats. Didn't know you two were expecting. And one from my best friend, Ryan, bro, is this for real? She's telling everyone it's yours. By evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I called Claire. Straight to voicemail. I texted, we need to talk. Now. No reply. The next morning, I drove to her sister's apartment, the place she'd been staying since she left. I knocked. My heart raced with every second that passed. When she finally opened the door, her expression was cool, almost rehearsed. Oh, she said flatly, it's you. I need answers, Claire. She crossed her arms. About what? Don't play dumb. You've told everyone I'm the father. Because you are. My voice rose. We haven't seen each other in over 2 weeks before that call. How is that even possible? She didn't flinch. It doesn't take long, Ethan. You know how biology works. That's not what I'm asking, I said. I'm asking why you're telling the world before even talking to me. Her eyes narrowed. Because I didn't think you'd care. Not care? I laughed bitterly. You've turned my life into a circus. My mom called me crying, Claire. She took a step closer, her voice trembling. Maybe if you'd shown me some compassion instead of accusations, we wouldn't be here. Compassion? I snapped. You lied, ignored me, disappeared, then dropped this on me out of nowhere. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't lie. I was scared. Then prove it, I said quietly. Let's get a test. The air between us froze. She looked at me like I'd just cursed her name. A test? Yes, I said. If it's mine, I'll be there for every appointment, every heartbeat. But I need to know. Her lips trembled. You're supposed to love me, not question me. That's not fair. No, Ethan, she said sharply, what's unfair is you treating me like some stranger who has to prove herself. I'm trying to make sense of everything. I shouted. You left. You said you needed space. Then suddenly, you're pregnant and telling my family it's mine. What was I supposed to think? Her tears turned to anger. You're heartless. I'm human, I said. And I'm tired of being manipulated. She folded her arms again, voice cold now. So that's what this is about? You think I'm lying? I don't know what to think anymore, I admitted. But the way you've handled this, it's cruel. She exhaled sharply. You always twist things. I'm not twisting anything, I said. You're gaslighting me, Claire. You make me feel guilty for asking questions you should have answered from the start. For a moment, something flickered in her eyes, guilt, maybe. But then it was gone. You're pathetic, she said quietly. I thought you were a man who'd stand by me no matter what. I would have, I said. If I believed you. Her expression hardened. You'll regret saying that. I shook my head. I already regret loving someone who'd rather destroy me than be honest. She flinched but stayed silent. The room felt smaller with every breath. I looked around, her half-packed suitcase, the wilted flowers on the counter, the faint smell of her perfume. Everything screamed temporary. Do you even hear yourself? I asked finally. You've turned this into a performance. You're telling stories while I'm the one drowning. She looked down. I did what I had to. To what? Punish me? To protect myself, she whispered. From what? Me? Her silence said everything. I stepped back, exhaling. You don't want truth, Claire. You want control. She met my eyes. And you want to feel like a victim. The words hung between us, heavy, poisonous. I turned toward the door. If you ever decide to tell the truth, you know where to find me. Ethan, she said suddenly, voice trembling again, don't walk away like this. I'm not walking away, I said quietly. You already did. I left before she could say anything else. Outside, the cold air hit my face like a slap. My phone buzzed again, another message from my mother, please tell me it's not true, son. I stared at the screen, my throat tightening. For the first time in my life, I didn't have an answer for her. Ryan showed up at my apartment unannounced. I hadn't seen him in days, but the look on his face said this wasn't a casual visit. Bro, he said quietly, stepping inside, we need to talk. I frowned. About what? He hesitated, glancing toward the window before meeting my eyes. It's about Claire. My stomach tightened. What about her? He rubbed the back of his neck. I wasn't going to say anything. I thought maybe I was overthinking it. Ryan, just tell me. He exhaled. I saw her. With someone. About 3 weeks ago. I froze. Where? Downtown. Café Leona. I tried to stay calm. Okay, who was she with? He hesitated again. A guy. Tall, brown hair, drives a black Civic. I think his name's Derek. She introduced him once, right? The name hit me like a flash of lightning. Yeah, I muttered. Her coworker. Ryan nodded slowly. They didn't look like coworkers that day. My hands went cold. What do you mean? They were sitting close. Real close. She laughed the way she used to with you, man. And when they left, he stopped himself. I swallowed hard. When they left what? He sighed. He had his arm around her. The silence that followed was heavy. I felt my pulse in my throat. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I finally asked. Because I didn't want to make things worse, he said. I thought maybe you two were working it out. But after all this pregnancy talk, I couldn't keep quiet. I sank onto the couch, running a hand through my hair. 3 weeks ago, I repeated. That's right around the time she said she found out. Ryan nodded grimly. Exactly. I felt the ground shift beneath me. She said she hadn't seen anyone but me. He looked at me carefully. You sure that's true? My throat tightened. I wanted to believe it. Ryan sighed. Look, man, I don't know what's going on, but you deserve the truth. If she's lying. I'll find out, I interrupted. I have to. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every memory of her felt tainted now, every smile, every promise. I kept replaying the timeline in my head, doing the math, checking the dates. None of it made sense. By morning, I'd made up my mind. I texted Derek, need to talk. Urgent. He replied an hour later. At Café Leona. 1 p.m. I almost laughed at the irony. When I walked into the café, the place was quiet. Derek sat near the window, stirring his coffee like he was trying to disappear into it. He looked up, startled. Ethan. Hey. Hey. I slid into the chair across from him. Thanks for meeting me. Of course, man. What's up? His voice was forced casual, too light. I leaned forward. You know what this is about. His eyes flickered. Claire? Yeah. Claire. He gave a nervous laugh. Is she okay? I stared at him. She's pregnant. His smile faltered. Oh. Wow. Congratulations? Don't, I said sharply. Don't act like you didn't know. He blinked. What do you mean? I know you've been seeing her, I said. Ryan saw you two together. 3 weeks ago. Café Leona. Derek's face went pale. That's not what you think. Then what is it? She was upset, he said quickly. She needed someone to talk to. Talk to? I repeated. With your arm around her? He looked down at his cup, silent. You knew we were together, I said, voice trembling. You knew she just left me. It wasn't like that, he muttered. She said you were done. I laughed bitterly. That's what she told you? He nodded. She said you didn't care about her anymore. I leaned back, my chest burning. So what then? You comforted her into bed? He flinched. Ethan, I swear, I didn't plan for any of this. Neither did I said quietly. But here we are. He looked genuinely panicked now. She said it wasn't serious. She said she just needed space from you. Did she tell you she was pregnant? I asked. His eyes darted away. That silence told me everything. You knew, I whispered. He swallowed hard. I thought it was yours. Did she tell you that? He nodded slowly. I felt the world tilt again. You believed her? He rubbed his temples. She was emotional, Ethan. I didn't know what to do. I stared at him, every word slicing through me. You should have stayed out of it. He didn't argue. I stood up, the chair scraping against the floor. You ever see her again, tell her I'm done being her fool. Ethan, wait. No, I said, my voice steady now. You both made your choices. I'm just finally seeing them for what they are. He reached out like he wanted to say more, but I walked out before he could. The sunlight outside felt harsh, almost mocking. I stood on the sidewalk, breathing hard, my hands trembling. People passed by, laughing, talking, while my world quietly collapsed. I pulled out my phone and opened Claire's messages. The last one I'd sent still read, I just want the truth. She'd never replied. Now, I finally understood why. Claire, this isn't about accusing you, I said carefully. It's about the truth. She crossed her arms. The truth? You already think I'm lying. I just want to clear the air, I said, trying to sound calm. A paternity test settles everything. Her eyes widened. You really don't trust me, do you? I sighed. It's not about trust anymore. It's about facts. She shook her head, laughing bitterly. You're unbelievable, Ethan. You think I'd make something like this up? I don't know what to think, I admitted. You disappeared, then came back saying you're pregnant. You left me with questions, not answers. She looked away. You don't understand what it's like to be scared and alone. Then help me understand, I said softly. Let's do the test together. No fighting, no blaming. Just the truth. Her jaw tightened. You really want this? I need it. For a long moment, she just stared at me. Then she nodded, reluctantly. Fine. But when the results prove you're the father, I want you to remember this moment, remember how little faith you had in me. I'll remember, I said quietly. The clinic was cold. Too clean. I could hear the faint hum of machines and the click of my pen as I filled out paperwork. Claire sat across from me, scrolling through her phone like she wasn't even there. When the nurse handed me the form for consent, my hand trembled slightly. So this'll take how long? I asked. A few days, she said. You'll receive a sealed report when the results are ready. I nodded, signing my name. Claire just sighed and muttered, this is ridiculous. On the way out, she snapped, you're treating me like some kind of criminal. I'm treating us like adults, I said. This isn't a trial. It's clarity. She didn't respond. That night, I sat in my car outside the clinic long after she'd gone. I watched the lights flicker off one by one. My reflection in the window looked like someone I didn't recognize, tired, hollow, scared. I wasn't ready for either outcome. If it was mine, my life would change forever. If it wasn't, everything I thought I knew about her would vanish. 3 days later, the call came. Mr. Brooks? Your paternity report is ready for pickup. My heart raced. Thank you, I managed to say before hanging up. When I arrived, the receptionist handed me a sealed envelope. My hands felt like ice. Do you want to open it here? She asked kindly. I shook my head. No. I'll take it home. The envelope felt heavier than paper should. Every step back to my car felt like walking through mud. I sat in the driver's seat, staring at it. My thumb hovered over the seal. I told myself I could wait, maybe even do this with her. But deep down, I knew I had to face it alone. When I tore it open, my eyes locked on one line. Probability of paternity, 0%. I read it once. Twice. 10 times. The letters blurred, like my brain refused to believe them. 0. Not 99. Not even 1. 0. I felt nothing at first, no anger, no shock. Just silence. Then, like floodgates breaking, every memory of her came rushing back, her smile, her laugh, her tears, every "I love you" that now sounded like a rehearsed lie. My phone buzzed. Claire. I almost didn't answer. But I did. Hey, she said softly. Did you get the results? My voice was barely audible. Yeah. And, she asked, almost impatiently. I swallowed hard. It's not mine. There was a pause, then a nervous laugh. What? That's impossible. It says 0%, Claire. No, she said quickly. No, maybe they mixed up the samples. That happens, right? Labs make mistakes all the time. They don't make this kind of mistake. Ethan, listen to me, she said, her voice rising. It has to be wrong. You're the only one it could be. I didn't respond. She kept talking. We can redo it. I'll go back with you tomorrow. Please, don't just give up on me like this. I'm not giving up, I said quietly. I'm just done lying to myself. You're being dramatic, she snapped. You think one piece of paper erases everything we've been through? It doesn't erase it, I said. It explains it. Explain what? She shouted. Why you left. Why the dates never made sense. Why you couldn't look me in the eye. She went silent. Say something, I said. Anything. Finally, she whispered, I didn't mean for it to happen. My chest tightened. So it's true. Her voice broke. I was lonely, Ethan. You were never home. He was just there. I closed my eyes. And now you're calling me heartless for wanting proof. I didn't know what else to do, she sobbed. I thought if you believed it was yours, maybe things would go back to how they were. Things like trust? I asked. Because that's gone, Claire. It's been gone for a while. She cried harder. I didn't want to lose you. You already did. Silence filled the line, heavy, final. Then she whispered, so that's it? That's it, I said. She started to say something else, but I ended the call. For a long time, I just sat there in my car, staring at the paper on the passenger seat. The words were plain, clinical, emotionless, but they cut deeper than any argument ever could. 0%. The truth didn't scream. It whispered. And in that whisper, everything between us ended. I folded the report carefully, placed it back in the envelope, and stepped out of the car. The sky was gray, the kind of gray that feels like it's waiting for rain. I didn't look back. When I opened the door that night, Claire stood there, mascara streaked, hair tangled, holding her phone like it was a lifeline. Ethan, please. I didn't know where else to go. Her voice trembled. I leaned against the doorframe, silent. The air between us felt cold, sharp. She stepped closer. He left me, Ethan. Derek left. He said he can't handle this anymore, that the baby isn't his. I tried telling him it's not what it looks like. I cut her off. So, it's no one's then? She blinked rapidly, swallowing hard. Don't do that. Don't talk to me like that. You know I've been through hell. I let out a bitter laugh. You put us all through hell. Her lip quivered. You don't understand. I understand enough, I said quietly. You lied. You dragged my name through the mud. You made my mom cry. You told everyone I abandoned you. She shook her head violently. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I thought you'd hate me if I told you the truth. The truth? I stepped forward. Or the version that got you the most sympathy. She flinched. You're cruel. No, I whispered. I'm just done. Her tears spilled over. Ethan, please, you're the only one who ever cared. You were the only person who ever made me feel safe. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. She looked broken, but then again, so had I, for weeks. Claire, I said, my voice low, when you left, I begged you to talk to me. You wanted space. You didn't answer my calls. And then you called me with a lie so big it nearly ruined me. Her breathing quickened. It wasn't a lie at first. I thought it could be yours. Stop. My tone was firm. Don't rewrite it now. You knew. The silence that followed was deafening. Outside, the city hummed faintly, oblivious to our wreckage. She looked around my apartment, the same one where we used to laugh, cook, argue. It still smells like you, she murmured. I didn't respond. She tried again. I've lost everything, Ethan. My friends don't talk to me. My family thinks I'm disgusting. Derek won't even pick up my calls. You're the only one who ever stayed. I exhaled slowly. Stayed? You made sure I couldn't leave, remember? Every time I tried, you'd pull me back with guilt. With tears. With promises you never meant to keep. I loved you, she cried. I met her eyes. No. You loved control. You loved being needed. The moment I stopped playing that role, you found someone else. She stared at me for a long time, her voice barely a whisper. You really won't forgive me? I already did, I said. That's why I'm not screaming. That's why I'm not throwing things. I forgave you because holding on to hate would mean you still matter. Her face twisted in disbelief. You don't mean that. I do. She took a shaky step forward, reaching for my hand. Please, don't let this end like this. I pulled my hand away gently. It ended a long time ago. You just refused to see it. Her voice cracked. Ethan. I don't know who I am without you. That's something you'll have to figure out. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her, almost. But then I remembered the endless nights replaying her lies, the whispers from people I loved, the shame that wasn't mine. She looked at me one last time, desperate, searching for something in my eyes. If you walk away now, there's no coming back. I'm not walking away, I said softly. You already did. Her sob broke through the stillness, and she turned, stumbling down the hallway. I watched her leave, her silhouette shrinking until the door shut behind her. The silence that followed was strangely peaceful. For the first time in months, my chest didn't feel heavy. I walked to the window, watching the streetlights blur in the night. My phone buzzed, another missed call from her. I put it face down on the table. My reflection in the glass looked tired, but lighter somehow. She was gone. And I was finally free. It had been 8 months since everything fell apart. My days were quieter now, no unanswered calls, no shouting matches, no ghosts of what-ifs. Just me, my work, and a therapist who'd somehow taught me how to breathe again. That afternoon, I stopped by the grocery store after work. My list was simple: milk, bread, coffee. The ordinary things I used to forget when life revolved around her. I was halfway down the cereal aisle when I heard it, soft cooing, a baby's laugh. I looked up. Claire. She stood a few feet away, holding a small boy against her shoulder. Her hair was tied back messily, her eyes hollow but kind of human again. She looked thinner, older, like life had been scraping pieces off her every day. For a second, neither of us moved. My throat tightened. Memories I thought I'd buried came flooding back, the nights we stayed up talking, the mornings she used to hum in the kitchen, the betrayal that burned everything after. She broke the silence first. Ethan, her voice was soft, almost afraid. I nodded slightly. Claire. Her eyes darted toward the baby, then back to me. He's asleep. I forced a small smile. He looks peaceful. She looked down at him, brushing his cheek. He's all I've got now. The weight of those words hit me harder than I expected. I swallowed, trying to steady my voice. You doing okay? She hesitated. Trying. It's hard. People don't forget easily. Yeah, I said quietly. I know that feeling. Her eyes filled with tears. Ethan, I didn't mean for it to end the way it did. I thought I was doing what was right at the time. I told myself I could fix it before it all came out, but, her voice broke. I ruined everything. I didn't know what to say. There was no anger left, only the dull ache of something long healed but still tender when touched. I'm sorry, she whispered finally. For everything I said, for what I did to you, for dragging your name through it. You didn't deserve that. I looked at her for a long moment. I could see the truth now, no manipulation, no mask. Just regret. I know, I said quietly. She blinked, surprised. You do? I used to think forgiveness was about letting someone back in, I said. But it's not. It's about letting yourself walk away without hate. Her lips trembled. You really forgave me? I nodded. A while ago. I just didn't say it out loud. The baby stirred, and she gently rocked him, eyes glistening. He's not yours, she said softly. But I still think about what kind of father you would have been. You were good. Even when I didn't deserve it. That one stung, but I smiled faintly. You don't have to say that. I want to, she replied. You should know I see it now, the way I hurt you, the way I kept lying even when you gave me chances to tell the truth. Karma caught up, Ethan. It really did. I nodded slowly. Maybe that's how we learn. She laughed quietly, the sound broken but real. You sound like you're doing better. I am, I admitted. Took time. Therapy helped. So did distance. Her eyes softened. You look peaceful. I am, I said again, meaning it this time. We stood there for a few seconds, surrounded by shelves of cereal boxes and soft fluorescent light. It was strange how ordinary the moment felt, two people who once loved each other, now just strangers sharing a quiet kind of mercy. She looked at me one last time, voice trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispered again. I exhaled. "Take care of yourself, Claire." Her eyes widened slightly, as if she'd hoped for more, but there was nothing left to say. She nodded, clutching her child closer. "You too." I turned and walked toward the checkout line. My hands didn't shake. My chest didn't ache. It just felt still. Outside, the evening air was cool. I breathed it in, feeling the calm stretch across my ribs. Somewhere behind me, a baby started crying, but it faded quickly into the hum of the city. For the first time, I didn't look back. People say love fades slowly, like the last bit of sunlight before night takes over. But for me, it ended in a single moment, the day I realized I couldn't save someone who didn't want to be honest. I remember sitting alone in my apartment weeks after seeing Claire at the grocery store. The quiet wasn't heavy anymore. It was calm. I used to think silence meant loneliness, but now, it felt like peace I'd fought too long to earn. Ryan dropped by that evening, as he sometimes did. "You look lighter," he said, handing me a coffee. "Guess I finally put the past where it belongs," I replied. He smirked. "Took you long enough." I laughed softly. "Yeah. I kept thinking if I understood her better, maybe I'd stop hurting. Turns out, understanding wasn't the cure. Acceptance was." He nodded. "She reached out again?" "Once," I said. I didn't reply. Ryan sipped his drink. "You ever think about what could have been?" I stared out the window for a moment, the city lights flickering below. "I used to. Now, I just think about what was, and what it taught me." He leaned back. "And what's that?" "That love without trust isn't love," I said. "It's control. It's fear disguised as affection." Ryan didn't speak for a while. "Man, you've changed," he said finally. "I had to," I murmured. "She made me believe I wasn't enough. Every time I tried to fix things, she found a new way to blame me. It took me years to realize I wasn't the problem, I was just convenient." He gave me a long look. "You still care, though?" I smiled faintly. "Care, yeah. Love, no. There's a difference." Ryan nodded slowly. "You'll meet someone better." "Maybe," I said. "But right now, I'm okay being with myself." That's new for me. When he left, I sat there for a while, thinking about everything that had happened. The arguments, the lies, the night she said she was pregnant, the test that broke everything open. I used to replay those moments searching for where it all went wrong, but now I see it clearly. Love died the day trust did. Claire didn't just betray me. She betrayed the version of me that believed in her completely. That was the hardest part to grieve. I remember the last thing she said to me in that store, "I'm sorry." For a long time, I thought that would undo everything. But it didn't. Sorry can't rebuild what lies destroy. I got up and walked to the mirror. I barely recognized the man staring back. There were lines under my eyes, a few new scars inside that no one could see. But there was also strength. The kind that only comes after you've survived something that tried to break you. I whispered to my reflection, "You did the right thing walking away." It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't about proving her wrong. It was about reclaiming my peace, the kind she once promised me and then shattered. For months, I'd wondered why she lied. Maybe she was scared of being alone. Maybe she thought love meant possession. Maybe she didn't even know what love really was. But now I realize it doesn't matter. The why doesn't heal anything, the what now does. I turned off the lights and sat by the window. The moonlight spilled across the floor, soft and cold. Somewhere out there, she was probably still trying to piece her life together. And for the first time, I didn't wish her pain or punishment. I just hoped she found the peace I finally did. Because that's the thing about love, real love. It doesn't end with hatred, it ends when you stop needing closure. When you realize the lesson was the gift all along. I took a deep breath and said it out loud, like closing a chapter I'd been rewriting for too long. She lied about a child to keep me close, but that lie gave me the strength to finally let her go. And just like that, I did.